Hello everyone, welcome again to another edition of the Solid Sports Video Blog. This is episode 23 and it is Saturday, September 2nd, 2017. Thank you so much for joining me. Of course, I'm Solid the Assassin, but my name is Troy West. Thank you for watching. Thank everybody that's been supporting the channel lately. Been getting a lot of subscribers of late, the last few weeks. Once again, like I said, thank you to my big subscribers, Pet Nut and Retro Ride Gaming I met through my Crash Bandicoot playthrough, and of course the lovely Jelaine Jaguar, who been tuning in, and she got the word out about the blog, so that helped me with subscribers as well. So I want to personally thank them three, and of course my twin nieces, of course, who's been supporting the channel as well the last few weeks. So I thank them, and just everybody else who's been supporting me. I appreciate it so much. Of course, we will get started. Not a lot to cover today. Gonna touch on the baseball, what's going on with the wild cards in both leagues, and of course some teams made some last minute trades 2 days ago, which was the waiver trade deadline. So I touch on that. The Kyrie Irving trade finally is finalized, as that took a week or two to get that done. Boston had to give a little extra. I'll talk about that. Of course, Mayweather McGregor has already been almost a week since they fought. I've watched a few highlights and clips here and there. I'll touch on that. And of course, college football. I haven't talked a lot about college football leading up till today. Really, college football started last week, and some teams played overseas and whatnot. But it's a lot of big games today. So hopefully this video will be launched before noon. I want to get it up before noon, so try to do it early as possible so it can be uploaded, so you can watch your college football. For a lot of college football fans, I'm more of a casual fan. Let's say a little bit more than casual, but not probably not as big. I don't really start getting into it till near the middle of the end of the season. And of course, I like the NFL better, which once again reminding you guys, I'm doing the NFL special preview tomorrow. So look out for that. But we're gonna go ahead and get this episode started. Of course, baseball season is winding down. This is the last month, the last stretch run for teams trying to make it in the playoffs. Of course, I started the American League. Of course, most of the division leaders started to pull away. Boston still been looking strong, have a nice little lead. In the Central, the Indians have pulled away. I think they lead their division by about 6 or 7 games, and Houston has been dominant in the West all year long. And then my condolences out to the people of Houston, who of course are dealing with the effects of Hurricane Harvey. My thoughts are with you if you're from Houston or from the area. You wind up watching this video. Just hope that everything's going well. Every day is getting better down there. Actually, the Astros had a doubleheader today with the New York Mets, and the Texans, the NFL football team, of course, supposedly should be able to play their game week 1, which is next Sunday, against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So everything's looking up down there. So I'm gonna get that out the way since I brought up Houston. Speaking of the Astros, they made a huge trade getting their hands on Justin Verlander for the Detroit Tigers. So the Tigers are like they're in a rebuilding mode, because they let him go to Houston for prospects. Like I said, I like Justin Verlander, I always did. Just think he's a little bit past his prime, but still not a bad pickup for the Astros. Hopefully they can make a stretch run. I think they go to win the division. I think they just want to get ready for the playoffs, have a strong rotation ready. Dallas Keuchel been hurt off and on all year long. and most of their pitching staff has been Lance McCullers. So they're trying to stabilize their starting pitching. But I think it's a nice pickup. Hopefully it gets them over the hump in the postseason. The American League, you know, I mean, you gotta say Houston's the favorite in the American League, but never could cut out Boston. But I like Cleveland. I picked Cleveland from the beginning. I really still think it's Cleveland that's going to come out of the American League. That haven't changed much. But speaking of the American League, the wild card is just bananas. I think it's like I said, still pretty much almost the whole league still have a chance to make the playoffs. But I think right now the two top teams in the wild card is the Yankees, who's got a little bit of a sizable lead, say about 2-3 games, and Minnesota, who's fighting with everybody else. Me being an Orioles fan, Orioles been playing a lot better. Still don't trust their pitching overall, but still been playing a lot better of late. It's a lot of teams contending. The Angels, which I was going to touch on, they made a few trades to try to bolster their bats. With Brandon Phillips from the Braves came over and just adopted another player from the Tigers that's let go. So the Angels trying to bolster their lineup offensively. The pitching is okay, but they right there, they competing. Seattle Mariners still alive. It's a lot of teams. Kansas City, they fell off a little bit though. There's a lot of teams in the American League. Pretty much a lot of the teams still have an outside chance. I think the only team that's really out of it is Oakland and Chicago White Sox. But I think everybody else still have a sort of an outside chance of making the wild card. So it's going to be very interesting this last month of the season. The National League, still the same. Still Washington and the LA Dodgers. Dodgers just got Clayton Kershaw back, who pitched very, very well last night. They lost 5 straight, but they still got 92 wins, still way above everybody else. Like I said, the Nationals still dominant in the East. The Central a little bit more tighter, but the Cubs have pulled away a little bit. St. Louis, Milwaukee, Pittsburgh still sort of fighting for a wild card. Right now, still Arizona though, who's pulled away a little bit, and Colorado, who's falling back down to earth. They playing each other this weekend again, and Boston and the Yankees are playing again. See, like they play every weekend as well. They playing again this weekend in the American League, but National League a little bit more cut and dry. But the wild cards, only a few teams competing. Milwaukee, of course, as I mentioned. Colorado, Arizona. They pretty much the 3 teams there. Everybody else sort of falling off a little bit. Cardinals made a push. Now they're falling back down. So has Pittsburgh. So the Marlins still been playing pretty decently, but they still right around 500. So, and Giancarlo Stanton continue to mash the ball. I think he got 51. I think by last week, I did my show on Friday. I think he hit like 2 that weekend. I think he had about 46, 47 before last week. So in the week he hit another 4 home runs. So he's been hot with the bat. The interesting thing is, can he reach? Well, his goal is 61 or more. Like he ain't bring up Bonds. Bonds had 73, of course. So, but he thinks over 61 will make him is the record to him. So, which depends on how you feel about the steroid era. I don't hold it against players. I think majority of those players still should be in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. Like only because baseball let it happen. If it was always, a stain on the game, as far as it always was. Well, it always was a no-no, but baseball sort of pretty much allowed those guys to do what they did. So I'm not going to blame the players too much. They have a hand in it, but baseball's closed the eye, so I think they got to be responsible for it. So I would let all those guys in my opinion. It don't bother me at all that they did it. At least not to the core where I think they don't need to be in the Hall of Fame. But that's my opinion. A lot of people think differently. You never should cheat I understand that, but don't want to use the thing everybody was doing it, because that's not responsible just to do something somebody else is doing it. But like I said, the league didn't step up until it was too late. So I put more of that on baseball than the players. So that's just me. So that's why it doesn't bother me too much. But that being said, it'd be nice to see him get at least too close to 60. That'd be exciting, even if they don't make the playoffs. That'd be an exciting thing for the last month of the season, to see if he can reach it. But that's it as far as baseball. Of course, like I said, about a month to go for the season. So a lot of teams trying to make that last push. Like I said, the American League, definitely a whole lot of teams still in contention. So I'll be definitely keeping an eye out on that. And of course, I always bring it up every week when I can. So I'm gonna move on to my second topic of the week, which is the Kyrie Irving trade finally going through. Like I said, I had no doubt that it wasn't going to go through, but Boston had to give up an extra pick. So basically it was Kyrie Irving for Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, a European center that Boston had. And I looked at his name, I was like, I don't even going to try to pronounce his name. And a first round pick next season, or next draft, and a 2020 second round pick. The first round pick, of course, is Brooklyn's pick, so that could be easily top 5. Don't know about the prospects coming into college basketball this year. I'll definitely be paying attention towards, mainly because this trade, see who potentially could be the player that Cleveland drafts. It's pretty much a foregone conclusion. LeBron is not going to be there next year, so Boston added that extra 2020 second round pick because Cleveland claimed that Isaiah Thomas' injury is more serious than they thought. And first I was like, well, they just trying to get extra stuff, because everybody knew that he was hurt. He didn't play. They played against Cleveland in the Eastern Finals last year. He didn't play with the last 3 games, I believe. So they knew he was hurt, but a report came out, I think, probably about 2 days ago, saying he might be out till the All-Star break. So that is sort of significant, half the season not having him there. But I think Cleveland's still a top team in the East. Like I said, a lot of people counting out Derrick Rose, but I think Derrick Rose was a huge pickup for Cleveland. I think he still got a little bit left. He don't have to be the main guy. If he was the main guy, then I'd be concerned. But he got LeBron and all the other pieces around him. He could just fit in and do his thing. He's not the MVP Derrick Rose, but I still think he's a former point guard in the NBA and can still play. So he'll probably wind up starting, since Isaiah probably be out for a while. But Boston, I mean, it was a good trade for Boston. You get a bona fide superstar. I would say star. I would probably put Kyrie in the superstar range, but he's right below that, but he's a great player. You get him, pair him with Gordon Hayward, Al Horford, the young pieces, Jaylen Brown, and Tatum from Duke. So they got an up-and-coming team. They're going to be the team of the East, especially next year if LeBron wind up leaving, which most likely looks like that's going to happen. So we'll see. That Cleveland still might get a chance to get the Wade. So don't rule that out either. They had the press conference with Kyrie. Probably seen that he cut his beard. He looks different now. It's starting to come around to how he looks now, but he looks a lot different without his beard. So, but a lot of people criticize him. Why would you want to play with? Why would you want to leave Cleveland? Probably guarantee a finals berth. But I mean, some players want to challenge themselves more. So I'm thinking about it. That's more why he did it. I don't think it was mainly like, well, him and LeBron didn't get along at times. At least that's what was reported. But I don't think it's more about him wanting to challenge himself. More about him just not wanting to be in Cleveland or not wanting to play with LeBron. Even though that might have a little bit something to do with it. But the trade is finally done. We can move on. And the crazy thing is they play each other opening night, which I think is October 17th, I want to say, around that time. So NBA season is always going to be interesting. Of course, Warriors probably still the top team right now, but teams have made some interesting moves during the offseason. We'll see how everything unfolds. But can't wait till the NBA season. That's only a month away, really. Think about it. It's starting early this year because they're trying to cut out the back-to-backs, of course. So very interesting, but finally done. So Kyrie officially a Boston Celtic. All the speculation and stuff has been put to rest now. Boston had to give up an extra pick though, but still think it wasn't. It was worth it. But me personally, I probably wouldn't have. I mean, a second round pick, I probably ain't that big of a price, but I don't know if I would have. Just out of my pride, of like, no, I knew Isaiah was hurt, so. But they had to get this trade done. That was put out there. They couldn't. Both teams. I think it would have looked bad for both teams if it would have got rescinded, or if it had got vetoed. So. All right. So oh yeah, I wanted to touch on the Lakers. Of course, they got $500,000 for tampering. Well, like I said, I think the rule itself is so touchy because, like every day I've been hearing, agents talk to GMs all the time, talking about this and that, contracts, blah blah blah. But basically, you can't, if a player's under contract, basically you can't acquire about them or ask about them or anything like that. That's considered tampering. But I think this situation was different because Paul George made it known that he wanted out and he wanted to go to the Lakers. Like that was the specific thing that he went to Indiana for. I think Indiana just was they just got, I won't say blindsided, but they felt some type of way. It was in their feelings and felt like they had to drop a dime on the Lakers. But the fine ain't that steep. I mean, the money, it's just money, which is probably the least thing that can really hurt you. It's like if they'd have took the draft picks or something, then I probably would be like, no, that's too much. But I see why they have a type of rule, but at the same time, it's like if you try to do what Paul George tried to do, was get traded or get out of Indiana. They already told him, look, I'm not staying here next year. I think this was his last year of his contract, so he told him exactly how he felt, where he wanted to go. So, but he wound up, of course, getting traded to Oklahoma City. So, and I don't know. I guess it's just, to me, it just seemed petty by the Pacers to do it. But now Indiana is pretty much a no man's land. They did get Victor Oladipo back. I mean, he's a decent player. He's from the area, but with the school in the area, I believe, Indiana University. But they definitely lost their superstar, so they should decline a little bit next year. But I think I'm on the fence about it. I don't have a problem with it. If they'd have took draft picks, then I probably would have been like, this was crazy. But I mean, you can't stop. I don't understand, like, how are they supposed to do business if you can't talk to agents? But but I think if Magic Johnson probably went on TV and joked about it, I think that got into Indiana feelings. That's why they snitched. Part of the reason why they snitched. But it is what it is. It's over with. Shouldn't hinder the Lakers at all. And if Paul George still have a chance to go there, unless Oklahoma City wound up wilding and he stay there. But there's rumors that him and Westbrook might be gone when they contract. But Westbrook got a contract on the table he haven't signed yet, which is $217 million. So definitely not at all about the money, because he would have signed. I know I would have just signed it when they asked the question, like, okay, sign me up. But he must be at least thinking about leaving, or he would have signed that contract. So But I just want to touch on it. You know, some people got a major problem with it, which I understand because the rule is sort of stupid. But at the same time, I understand why the rule is in place. So, but it'd be interesting to see if Paul George do wind up going there, or will the league try to block it like they did the Chris Paul trade? Like, I mean, it is what it is. People like playing for the Lakers. The Lakers is a historic franchise. And then now that Magic Johnson is there, there's definitely a big attraction for free agents now, so, and for players. So the other teams just have to deal with it or try to find another way to compete. Alright, so that's the end of the NBA talk for this week. Other than that, it's been real quiet, so I don't know if I have anything in the NBA next week. I might start doing a list like I did with the NFL, start doing a list, top 5 something players, point guards, or something like that, probably in the next couple of weeks, just to keep the NBA, you know, in the show, in the blog. But like I said, the season starts very, very soon, though, just a month away. Alright, my third topic of the week, of course, Mayweather McGregor, the fight finally here, and finally gone now. Of course, I didn't see the fight live. I watched what I could, highlights, rounds and everything, analysis. I was spending time with my nieces last week, so I enjoyed my weekend last weekend anyway. But I followed it, like I was following the fight, like kept checking on my phone. You know, most websites are doing round by round and, you know, stuff like that. So it was almost like I watched it, quote unquote, but I just didn't watch it live. But basically what happened, if you didn't see the fight, basically McGregor did come out firing the first 3 or 4 rounds. Mayweather pretty much changed his tactic, pretty much let McGregor punch himself out. So by like the 8th, 9th, and 10th rounds, of course he got TKO'd in the 10th by Mayweather. But McGregor looked tired. That's why they clearly see that he was tired. He was fatigued. And Mayweather went on the attack, and McGregor he was just standing there taking punches. Some people say maybe the fight shouldn't have got stopped so early. I'm on the fence about that as well. Like, as a fan, yeah, I wanted to see somebody get knocked out. Anybody, I don't care. I just wanted to see a knockout. But for McGregor, he was not fighting back. He was getting hit repeatedly by Floyd, and if something would have happened to him, then that would have been on the referee. So, but I think McGregor sort of got, I don't want to say he got screwed, but the referee definitely was painting McGregor to be like, I guess he thought McGregor wasn't going to follow all the rules, and but it was for it to be an MMA fighter boxing for the first time against Floyd, which is an all-time great. The fight wasn't that bad, you know. McGregor held his own for the most part. Some people threw out a rematch. I wouldn't personally mind a rematch, but I could see why people wouldn't want one. It was a decent fight, though. Only why I would want to see a rematch, I could see if McGregor can make that adjustment off his fatigue. If he could get more stamina, where the fight would have been different. And then the controversial low blow. I personally don't think it was a low blow. I don't think he hit him too low. He might have got just below his waist, but it wasn't like near, you know, the groin area. I don't believe so. And then Floyd sort of turned his back, and you know you can't punch nobody in the back, you know, from behind in the head, or you lose points. So, but Floyd knowing all the rules, you know, he manipulated the rules. I think that was sort of, you know, unfortunate for McGregor, but I wouldn't mind a rematch, just to see if McGregor can make that adjustment. But I wouldn't mind seeing him get in the octagon either. I just wouldn't mind those. The the hype to the fight was just as good, probably better than the fight was still. But I mean, it's just a time in history where we can look back and remember. Floyd says he's done. I mean, I believe he's done. I never seen him like that before in the press. I can see, like, I don't say I can look at his eye to tell that he's done, but he really looked like he's done. I don't really think he want to do that again. But Floyd, as everybody knows, Floyd like that money, and if they just made over 300 million easily, they broke records in pay-per-view, you know, and I think it's before both guys, but McGregor is known worldwide, and his people back home in Dublin, I know all them supported him. So I think they had a big part in that pay-per-view by record breaker. So I wouldn't mind a rematch, but honestly, if I had to say right now, I don't think it's going to be one. But it was a spectacle, it was a time to get out, you know, try a reason to get out and party and get together with probably loved ones and stuff. So it was electric last week, even though, like I said, I didn't watch the fight, but I was following it, and I live in an apartment building, so I was hearing other people were in Iraq. So it was great. Of course, the big fight between Triple G and Canelo is, I think it's 2 weeks away from today. So definitely another big fight in the boxing world. So looking forward to that as well. I'll probably do some research and touch on that the day of the fight, of course. But the build-up was big, but the fight was okay. Like I said, I wouldn't mind seeing the rematch just to see if McGregor can make those adjustments. It seemed like he just got tired. So, but Floyd, can't take nothing away from Floyd. I do count it as a win because it was a boxing match. I don't care if it was against me. If everything is allowed by the commission and all that stuff, it counts. So I would say he's 50-0, regardless of McGregor never been in a boxing ring before. But you know, it was good for everybody, a chance to get out and enjoy yourself. So hope everybody else enjoyed it last week. I did, even though I didn't watch it live. Alright, so I'm gonna move on. College football, of course, starts today. Well, really it started last week, but a lot of the big schools play today. A couple of big games. Florida, Michigan. Of course, I follow the Florida Gators. I always followed them ever since I was young. They played Michigan today. Florida missing like 10 players due to this credit card scam. So I hope they still be able to compete in this game. I think that game around 3:30. Of course, Alabama, Florida State. Big game early in the season. Playoff implications already. That's a night game tonight. Couple of other games, notable games: West Virginia, Virginia Tech, Maryland, Texas. Of course, a lot of other big schools play today. Louisville, a lot of talk around Jackson, see if he can get another Heisman. Clemson, of course, playing without Deshaun Washington for the first time in years. They play today. A lot of other big games to check out. I watched the Washington-Rutgers game. That was sort of entertaining. Washington pulled away, but Rutgers hung in there. Like I said, I like college football. I follow it. Still football. More, like I said, I'm more of an NFL guy, definitely, but college football is exciting. Very fast-paced. So I like it a lot. I'll be probably watching games here and there today myself. As far as champion predictions, it might be so easy to say this, but I'm gonna go with Alabama. Basically, you're never wrong going against Alabama. I think they'll definitely be in the playoff. Ohio State looks strong, and all the pundits saying that basically but most of the pundits I've heard is picking them to win it. With JT Barrett coming back. Of course, Urban Meyer is a heck of a coach, probably one of the best coaches in college football, of course, other than Saban. A lot of other teams, I don't want to see a team that's sort of under the radar right now sort of come up and surprise the people. But right now, I'm going to just say Alabama. Just because it's just every time I go against them, they prove me wrong. So, like, I went against them the year before. I think they lost. Like, every time I pick against them, they win. When I pick for them, they lose for some reason. Like, I thought they was gonna beat Clemson last year, they lost. So, but it should be another exciting college football season as always. Of course, this game tonight, Alabama, big test. But after that, the SEC is sort of been down the last 2 years. So Alabama, they expect Alabama to dominate the SEC. A lot of people picking Washington as well to make that top 4. I think it might be 2 Big Ten teams in this year. I think the Big Ten is the best conference right now as far as strength. In college football, if you ask me, you got Penn State, you got Michigan, of course, Ohio State, Iowa always a contender. Wisconsin looks strong. They played last night. So I think that's the deeper conference. So I think it'd be probably 2 Big Ten teams, then probably Washington, Alabama. Because they say Washington's schedule is easy too. And of course USC is a sleeper. Sam Darnold at quarterback. Expected to be #1 pick if he comes out next year. So a lot of days to look forward to. I think they play today as well. So a lot of days to look forward to the college football season. So definitely check that out today. A lot of big games, so I'll be probably watching as much as possible today myself. So that'll do it for this week. Just my final thoughts. Of course, tomorrow, got a big show tomorrow. Very excited about tomorrow's blog. Special NFL season preview. I break down all 32 teams, at least briefly. Give you all my division winners, the playoff picture, my Super Bowl 52 prediction. I predict the MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, everything. So everything you need to know about the season, I will be breaking that down tomorrow. So excited about tomorrow's show. So definitely check that out if you're an NFL fan. Speaking of the NFL, I'm supposed to be participating in the fantasy draft today. I was supposed to have been Thursday, but my friend Mel, which I brought up a few times on my blog, he does a fantasy football league every year, so he sent the invites out and I accepted, but the room still ain't full. It was a small league. Our leagues usually be from 6 to 8 players. Last year was 6. I actually won last year. So if it's right now, it's still scheduled for tonight. So that's what I'll be busy doing that later on. I'll probably touch on it tomorrow since it is sort of NFL stuff. But I've always done well. I won last year. All the leagues I've been in, I've been at least in the top 4. Third, I finished second a few times, so starting to get the hang of it. The small leagues, I think the bigger the league, the more skill you gotta have. The smaller leagues, it's more about luck and hopefully nobody get hurt. But I've done pretty well in it, so I feel good about it. I want to participate again, so I'll probably be busy doing that tonight. I'll touch on that tomorrow. If the draft still go down, I'll probably talk about it a little bit. All my other projects, like Uncharted Lost Legacy, I think I'm near the conclusion of that. I'm actually, as we speak right now, with videos being loaded up for that. So check that out. Sonic Mania, I'm still playing that. Part of the retro series. Jack and Daxter, the precursor legacy, I gotta finish that. I stopped playing that. I liked that game, so that's a game I've been playing as well. Other games I want to get into, of course, NBA Live comes out in a few weeks. hopefully I'll be able to get that. I also want to get the Mega Man Legacy Collection, the second version of that. Of course, that has Mega Man 7 through 10 on it, so I wanted to get that game as well and play that part of the retro series. But like I said, all the rest of my projects on the channel, like I said, been doing well. Like Crash, like I said, Crash Bandicoot did very, very well. MLB The Show did. You know, I got a few subscribers. I did a couple of live feeds on that game and got some positive feedback from that. But now that I'm playing Madden, that's another game I almost slipped my mind. I've been trying to practice. I've been starting to get my legs back under me. It's just that I turn the ball over too much, throw a lot of interceptions, so I gotta cut that out. But other than that, been playing that pretty well. I don't know if I'm gonna join the online franchise league or not this year, and I might play out the log shot story probably once I finish the Uncharted, so I can have time to play it. So just look out for all that stuff. Have a lot of content on my channel, a lot of video game playthroughs, so definitely go check those out. Well, that'll do it for this episode. Thanks everybody for watching. Thanks for all the support as always. Of course, I'll be right back tomorrow. NFL season starts this Thursday, of course, and after this week I'll start doing Wednesday and Saturday shows. Of course, the Wednesday show will be based around a look back of the week that was in the NFL and a look ahead to the next week, and break down the Thursday night game as well. So that'll be Wednesdays throughout the fall this year, so definitely check that out. Alright everybody, that'll do it for my show this week. Thank you guys so much, and I'll talk to you guys next time. Thank you so much.